Hello, Libra. I put my phone on this do not disturb this time. Lord have mercy. Sorry to the people that their reading got chopped. Okay, Libra, but this is a reading about how are you doing after the AstroStorm, like all the crazy energy, the full moons, the blah blah blah. How how's Libra doing right now? And one thing during the little meditation that came out to me is, the sun is moving into your partnership area right now. So everything that would entail about having a partnership, what that means to you, what your relationships are looking like. You might even be judging a little bit more harshly on who you're willing to deal with, and second guessing a lot of the connections that you have, as is your way. Like, Libra, you're gonna weigh it out, pros and cons, best debater on the team for sure. But when it all came down to it, it feels like a lot was on top of you, Libra, not like you were just in the mix of stuff. It felt like you just had a lot raining down on you, or you might have been putting a lot out into the atmosphere, and then boom, that's what came the bottom of the deck for you. So the relationship thing for sure. But just get started. So again, like, the happily ever after, the big family, like, I feel like you've gotten to a point where you pretty much know what you have to do as far as, the other human necessities. But it's just that relationship part that you can't force, you can't make them love you if they don't, if they won't. And you're really trying to stay away from the drama. I feel like you might have even just said, for a while, I don't even really need to be in a partnership so much. Like, I just want to, unless it's somebody like really truthful, really sent from above, someone who can match me intellectually. I'm not really here for all of that other nonsense, right? Tired of wasting my energy, my time, my effort being creative and sweet and positive, and people are just they're not deserving. They're not worth it. They're not being straight up. They're not, giving you the hardcore facts. And, just because you might be in a situation where you are kind of rehearsing that, going over that in your head, when people do come at you, or, it's their normal. This is how, human beings are. This is how people are. They come, they try you. You might have been a lot more direct, defensive, but in a, more sticking up for yourself kind of way. Wow. These cards came out similarly for another sign too. But make sure we're working towards that end goal. Like, I feel like you were kind of swatting away little dumb offers, and for a young Libra woman, just kind of taking stock of, like, these are the guys that are around me right now. I'm over all that. Like, I'm looking for a new Love, baby. The real love, the real love. Not some, and I just feel like maybe you haven't been being met with honest emotionally, passion, you know, interest, honesty, just not seeing any of those qualities that would make you, your shining qualities in relationships are not being taken advantage of, or you're not allowing anyone to take advantage of those without real reciprocation. So even though that's your natural way, naturally you don't want to have to bite your tongue. You don't want to be single. You want to share. You don't want to be alone. You don't want to be uncooperative. But in this astroclimate, let's call it, it just kind of called for you to kind of be the opposite of your normally inclusive way. Maybe not even asking for help, maybe being a little proud. And it's been a good thing for you to be proud of yourself, because I feel like you might have had a lot of naysayers around to, subtly. We always wonder, the Libra always wonders if they're doing the right thing by other people, if they're, taking care of everybody else. And so you might have been saying, I need to be a little bit selfish. For those of you who have recently got into something serious, maybe moved in together, maybe recently, finally took that next step and started sleeping with each other, maybe, started first time spending the night there. I feel like it might be a little hard to discern whether it's, something for the long haul. Is this the one, versus was it just, for a good time, and I feel like you might have really questioned that from someone, and now through the storm, you came out with a, a good inkling, I'll say. For those of you dealing with Aries, Aquarius, Virgo, men, Aries, this not the Aries. Those of you in a relationship with Aquarians and Virgos, it looks like you're not taking the apology this time. Or you could take that apology and shove it. I don't need it. There's no trust. I'm seeing a little of the marriage ending here. A marriage ending. I'm feeling really strong ties with Sag, Virgo, Pisces. Pisces, yeah. Those of you dealing with the Pisces situation, they're not quite over it. So I feel like, you guys both may have went to your separate corners and you might have been in your head about it. Or Pisces season just allowed you to really come to terms with what people might have been saying about you, who you thought were your friends, and kind of giving you the courage to not necessarily be aggressively cutting people off, but just kind of staying to yourself and, letting, how you always say, you give them the rope and let them hang themselves. You don't, walk around lynching. Yeah. So, yeah, like, you just kind of pretty much, being a little short with the people, not, investing so much time. I feel like, you're okay with, casual, light communication, nothing heavy. You already got a lot of burdens and things to deal with. Your energy is really focused on, I feel like, building your home, your own security first. You've kind of come to the realization through this AstroStorm. Man, yes, I want that love. I want that, but I'm not about to live as, I'm not about to live as a pauper and, drag myself through the mud because I don't have it. I might as well get busy and do what I got to do for me, whether everybody else is, it might not look like the finished product, but at least I'm working on some stuff now. Um, for those of you that have been trying not to let something end, trying not to cut somebody off, trying not to say the thing that is going to be the finish move in this relationship. This is what you want to say. This is what needs to be said. This is the new parameters you're trying to, say the thing that helps everybody in the end, that comes to the most logical conclusion there. With all that major arcana mixed in, it's just saying like this storm was presented for you to do those things. So whatever you were waiting for to have happened by this season, I feel like you might have pushed it back by not saying what needed to be said. But you'll get it. This, upcoming, it feels like I will get it done. You know what I mean? I also feel like you looked within and dealt with a lot of the lessons that you learned. I think you really gave yourself some time to balance them out, how you feel and what you do, gaining a little bit more control over your impulse, and being a little bit more committed to self. Being a little bit more in control of yourself, taking back control of yourself. I'm hearing for those of you who are cross watching dealing with a Libra. You want to know what's up with your Libra. Something's just a little off. They're not being quite themselves. And maybe even being a little bit cold. They really are at a point right now, Crosswatcher, that they are really taking stock of relationships and who gives what and how much and what's worth their time and what's not worth their time. It might seem like they're being a little bit lazy, but they're really looking for the bottom line. What's the sum? Yeah, kind of sitting back and saying, hey, you know what? I'm tired of I'm not proving a thing. I know what I know, and I know that I know. That's it. So whoever don't know, better ask somebody. You've got a couple here, a Leo couple, where the woman is stepping out. So for those of you Libras who might have been keeping a secret about a marriage where the woman, maybe the woman doesn't know, you know, what the man's been out doing. Okay, maybe even, you know, this man is, you know, coming towards you, Libra woman. Maybe he was acting single and lonely. He didn't tell you he had the wife. Maybe you even know the wife and she's the only one that's not in the know. She's the only one that's not in the upright, so she might be behaving, maybe a woman behaving this way towards your husband, you know. Someone who you thought was a friend really presenting not so friendly. Or I feel like maybe someone got you on ice, Libra, you know. And all in all, you know, it's good for you. It's good time to be alone and with your thoughts and, you know, as elegant and as gentle as like the Empress. It's it's like, you know, you're coming more into, you know, your power of love and by this separation, somebody not coming towards you by not, I feel like not having sex. Maybe you haven't been very sexual lately. But you're dealing with, I feel like you're dealing with the higher power, you're dealing with the truth more so than just, you know, you mastered the physical plane of this in a way. So during this AstroStorm, I feel like you are waiting for, you're looking for the man with, you know, that takes action. And even him taking action doesn't necessarily mean that you got to take action too. It's like you just kind of, you know, taking stock. All right, you know, canned goods over there, gifts on the table. Okay. um, I think you've also taken a good stock. This is, I feel like, for the Libra women and what you are willing to put into a marriage here. What a marriage requires from you, what you're willing to sacrifice for said marriage, said union. Do you even want to be married, period? Like, who said you needed to be? Imagining what your life looks like without a partnership, I think, is what happens when, for Libras, when the sun enters Aries. You've got a pretty clear idea of how you could do this, right, all by yourself, right? Even though it just seems so natural to expect a partner to show up in your visualization of your future. I think Aries season and all of the storm leading up to it led you to try to imagine your life without one and make the best goddamn life you could make for yourself. Waiting on that partnership to get started is probably a little counterproductive, right? So, yeah, a change of thought and how long are you willing to wait to start living your best life, to start doing the things that you really want to do, to even start contemplating a single and happy life. Because I think it might have kind of meant if you end up single, you end up unhappy in some way, or you just, you know, not getting that committed partnership that you want. But your opposite Aries says pretty much like, ooh, partner, and I want to do it by myself, you know. So I share what I feel like sharing. I don't have to give you a goddamn thing, you know. And so you've kind of taken on that energy too. Like, I don't have to give anyone anything. Whatever I do give, it's a gift for sure. You know, just that's a really tough one for Libra to be comfortable with, you know, just kind of not being in the mix, not expecting and anything in return, or, you know, giving in expectation of someone partnering with them. There you are. For those of you who are like, I, you know, pretty much got pregnant during this storm here. I feel like you all might be struggling a little bit to know who your baby daddy is. Is that right, Libra? You better know. Also really just coming to terms with, you know, again, this realization might not have come to only just the single Libras, but this might have come to the realization might have come to some of you who are already married and have been in a relationship forever, and all of a sudden it dawns on you like, I don't want to do this. I'm ready to strike it out on my own. I don't want to hurt people, you know, but, you know, memories don't live like people do. It's like, it doesn't have to be over, but I need to be able to spread my wings and do what I gotta do, you know. A little bit fed up or frustrated with people not really doing things your way, because you're, you know, always willing to compromise in a way, or when you are being uncompromising, it's not without great reason. You know, you feel to the root chakra that this is the way, and so if you're not, you know, if you can't see that I'm doing this from the place of I thought of everything, you know, then I could do it by my damn self, right? Like, I'm here, like, I don't want to have to yell and argue, fight, yeah. And I don't want to move at a glacial pace all the time either. Like, I also don't think that it should just be my responsibility to come up with the money for these things, or to take care of our sick parent or whatever. Like, really standing up for yourself in a way where, like, it's not up for debate. I'm not asking for permission to strike it out on my own. Like, I am on my own, and I'm quite fine with that. Yeah. Okay, Libra, I hope you enjoyed your reading. Good luck.